If you or someone you love has suffered a stroke, I want you to hear this clearly. Recovery is possible. Healing is possible. And your life, it's not over. It's changing. I'm Dr. Thomas Carter, and for more than 30 years, I've helped older adults recover after stroke. Some walked again. Some found their voices. Some got back the confidence they thought was lost forever. And I'm here to tell you, stroke recovery isn't just what happens in the hospital. It's what happens every day after, at home, in your mindset, and in your daily routine. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the most powerful methods of post-stroke rehabilitation for seniors. They're natural, proven, and most importantly, personalized. Let's begin. 1. The first 90 days, why they matter so much. The first thing I tell every stroke patient and their family is this: the clock is ticking, but it's not against you, it's working with you. What we do in the first 90 days after a stroke can determine the long-term outcome. This is when the brain is most open to rewiring itself, a process called neuroplasticity. It's like wet cement. With the right tools and movements, we can reshape function, balance, even language. But that only happens if we show up daily with effort, patience, and the right guidance. 2. Physical rehabilitation. More than just walking again. For many seniors, regaining physical control is the most urgent concern. Sometimes it's weakness on one side. Sometimes it's poor coordination. Sometimes it's the fear of falling that keeps them stuck. So what helps? We begin with structured physical therapy. Therapists often start with passive range of motion exercises, where the body is gently moved to prevent stiffness. Then we move to active exercises, where the patient participates, no matter how small the movement. Simple actions like raising the arm, bending the knee, or standing from a chair might seem basic, but they're powerful signals to the brain that say, "I'm still here, I can do this." And if balance is affected, we gradually build up with support, starting with parallel bars, moving to supported walking, and eventually introducing resistance bands. Most importantly, we celebrate every inch of progress. Because walking across a room might feel small, but for someone who couldn't stand 2 weeks ago, it's a mountain. And if you've experienced stroke recovery in your family, leave a comment below. Your experience might give strength to someone just beginning their journey. 3. Occupational therapy. Learning to live again. Many people think rehab is just about walking, but stroke affects daily life in quieter ways too. Can you button a shirt? Use utensils? Cook a meal safely? That's where occupational therapy comes in. It helps seniors rebuild the skills needed for everyday independence: dressing, cooking, grooming, even using the bathroom safely. We start with simple tools: large-handled silverware to help with grip, elastic shoelaces so you don't have to tie knots, and other adaptive equipment. Then we teach strategies: how to complete one-handed tasks, how to modify your routine to match your ability, and how to make small adjustments that keep your dignity intact. And some patients struggle with spatial awareness, like reaching for objects that aren't there or bumping into walls. Therapists use tracking drills and mirror exercises to retrain perception. And I always remind my patients, you're not failing if it feels hard. Your brain is relearning just like a child does. And every repetition builds a new pathway. 4. Speech therapy. Finding your voice again. When stroke affects the left side of the brain, speech and language often suffer. Some patients slur their words. Others can't recall them at all. Some understand everything but just can't speak it. It's heartbreaking. But here's the hope. Speech therapy works. We use repetition drills, flashcards, word games, and even singing exercises. Yes, music often activates language areas when speech is blocked. And for those who still struggle, we introduce other forms of communication. Pointing boards, speech apps, or simple gestures. The goal isn't perfection, it's connection. One patient once told me, "I couldn't say the words, but I could still say I love you with my eyes." That's what matters. 5. Emotional recovery, the hidden battle. There's one part of stroke recovery people rarely talk about, and that's emotional healing. After a stroke, it's not just the body that changes, it's your identity. Seniors often feel defeated, ashamed, or like they've become a burden. Thoughts like, "I'm not who I used to be," or "I can't do anything right," are common and heavy. That's why emotional rehab is essential. We involve counselors, therapy groups, even medication if needed. But sometimes what helps most is a daily rhythm of simple wins. Start by celebrating small victories. You stood on your own? That's a win. You said a full sentence? That's growth. You made a cup of tea today? That's independence returning. And if you're a caregiver, your words can shape recovery. Say things like, "You did better than yesterday." "I saw how hard you tried." "I'm proud of you." These moments restore dignity. And if this video is helping you or someone you love reframe stroke recovery, consider hitting like. It helps us reach more families who need this kind of encouragement. 6. Home-based rehabilitation. Yes, it's possible. You don't need a fancy rehab center to heal. With good support, most stroke recovery can continue right at home. First, create a safe space. Remove clutter, add grab bars, keep hallways lighted. Then, build a daily rhythm that includes movement, thinking, and connection. Simple exercises like stretching, raising arms, or sitting and standing can rebuild strength. Mental activities like card games, puzzles, or recalling yesterday's news sharpen the mind. And daily tasks like folding clothes or making toast train coordination. And don't forget emotional connection either. Phone calls, visits, music, they lift the spirit. And most importantly, rest. Healing doesn't happen in a rush. It happens in consistency. Even 15 to 20 minutes a day makes a long-term difference. 7. Nutrition and brain recovery. What you eat helps you heal. After a stroke, your brain is under construction, and it needs the right materials. That means whole foods, vegetables in every color, wild salmon, leafy greens, berries, nuts, olive oil. It means drinking enough water, avoiding processed foods, and cutting back on sugar and sodium, especially if high blood pressure was involved. Nutrients like magnesium, B vitamins, and antioxidants support the rebuilding process. So even if all you do is add spinach to your eggs or swap white rice for brown, you're feeding recovery. 8. The most powerful recovery tool? Hope. Let me say this as clearly as I can. The brain is a fighter. It's adaptable. And it never stops trying if you give it the chance. I've seen people walk who were told they'd never stand again. I've seen people speak after months of silence. I've seen lives rebuilt one tiny movement at a time. What makes the difference? It's not just therapy, it's belief. It's trying again and again. It's showing up even when it feels slow. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. And you are not alone. 9. Final thoughts. Stroke recovery isn't easy. It's not always visible. And it's not always fair. But it is possible. And it is worth fighting for. There are tools. There are people who care. And there is still life ahead. Rich, meaningful, and yours to live. So wherever you are on this journey, just take one step today. That's how healing begins. And if this video is helping you or someone you love reframe stroke recovery, subscribe to Health Hub. We're with you every step of the way.